Hey you guys, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. I'm so excited. We're in the car. I'm outside the theater right now. Probably don't need my seatbelts to do our little intro thing, but I'm about to see Wicked for good. I'm so excited. I'm an hour early. I actually could not contain myself anymore. I had to leave my house. I was genuinely like losing my mind. I was just getting so antsy, and I kept convincing myself that I was worried about parking. Because I'm going to the Harkins at the mall. I'm at Fashion Square right now. And it is the week before Thanksgiving. So I do think I had a right to be concerned about the parking situation. But this parking lot is like empty. Like, it's actually really funny to me. You can see behind me, like, this is literally empty. And I was so nervous about that. I'm just excited, you guys. I don't know. But I am nervous at the same time. I feel nervous for different reasons than I was nervous last year for the first one. I was nervous for the first one because I just had no idea what I was getting myself into. I'd seen John M. Chu's work before. I'd seen In the Heights and I really liked it, but I love Wicked, and I've loved Wicked since I was in middle school. It was one of the first musicals I really fell in love with, and I just love it, and I just had no idea what I was getting myself into. With the films, I don't think any of us did, but the first one was so good that I feel like I've spent the past year just in anticipation for the second one, so excited for it, that now that it's here and I'm an hour away from seeing it, I'm like, I literally don't even know what to do with myself. I'm actually so excited. So I thought it would be fun to do some last minute predictions, literally about to walk into the theater type last minute predictions. And then after the fact, we're going to sit right here and I'm going to give you guys my live thoughts, my immediate thoughts, spoiler free, of course. And then I will do a full spoilers for the day the movie actually comes out. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's get into the predictions, shall we? Whenever I do predictions, I like to do my real predictions first, and then I'll do a few at the end where I'm just throwing spaghetti at the wall, guessing some fun stuff. We'll see what sticks. So for my real predictions, one, I predict that I'm gonna cry. That one's pretty much a guarantee. Yeah, I would put your life savings on the prop bet for that one. I sang for good with one of my middle school best friends for our 8th grade promotion, and then we sang it together again for our final choir concert as seniors in high school. And so there was a while in there where I literally could not listen to the song For Good without crying a little bit. I'm like so sure that at the very least, the song For Good is going to evoke tears, let alone the rest of the story. So I'm gonna cry. That's a for sure one. Prediction number 2 is that I'm gonna be vindicated and that everybody's gonna see how Glinda is a horrible person. And people are going to stop coming into my comments and yelling at me for not liking Glinda because they're going to see what I see. I was nervous right when they first dropped the first trailer at how little they actually showed of Glinda, that potentially she kind of took a back seat in this film, or they weren't going to show her as much. But then I saw the live show, which is actually what this shirt is from. I saw it at Gamage, and I was reminded that there's 100% a reason why I feel like the purpose of Glinda's character is what I feel that it is, which obviously I'm not going to break down here because this is supposed to be the spoiler-free one. There are overt lines in the stage show that support my interpretation of Glinda and what her purpose is supposed to be in the story. And they ripped so many lines from the stage show for the first film that I'm hoping that even though they're adding stuff for this one, that they are ripping those same lines. And there's been stuff in the more recent trailers that make me feel a little bit better too, that they are showing a little bit of Glinda's arc. And so I feel like they're just trying to surprise people who don't know. Like, there are people who don't know. There are people who have only seen this first film and they have no idea what happens in the second act of Wicked, and they're going to be pretty shocked, I think. Especially given the way she's portrayed in recent trailers. I predict that I'm going to be very vindicated and that we are going to see the dark side of Glinda, and that everybody's going to come into my comments and apologize to me for being so mean to me about my interpretation of Glinda. Fun facts, the first time somebody ever tagged me in anything on TikTok because they wanted me to see it was somebody breaking down why Glinda isn't as evil as everybody thinks she is, and I just think that's hilarious. I was so excited. I was like, oh my god, a fan tagged me in something. I wonder what this is about. And then I pulled up the video and I was like, you bitch. It was so funny. I don't actually have any hard feelings, by the way. I think it's really funny, and everybody's allowed to have their own interpretation of media. I think it's more funny to me that people get so upset at me for feeling that way, because it's like, to each their own, you know what I mean? I've told you guys why I feel the way that I feel about her. I'm sure I'll make a follow-up video in the midst of this new film coming out. If you don't agree with me, you don't agree with me. That's fine. We're all allowed our own interpretations. which means you are entitled to your incorrect interpretation while I am entitled to my correct interpretation. I'm just looking forward to feeling very vindicated and watching the film and being like, I knew it. Let's see, what else? There's 2 new songs, and I predict that I will feel Glinda's new song adds more to the story than Elphaba's new song does. I could be wrong about that, but how I feel right now, I don't really feel like I'm missing anything from Elphaba's emotional arc in the second act, whereas I do feel like we are maybe missing a little bit of a perspective shift emotional song from Glinda, which is what Ariana Grande has shared the new Glinda song is, that it's like a moment of decision for Glinda. So if you're familiar with the plot, then you know what moment that moment probably is. I do feel like that is something that is somewhat maybe missing from the stage show, and that's what's leading to some of these interpretations that maybe are missing the point of Glinda's story arc. I love Cynthia Erivo, by the way, and I'm always down for more of Cynthia Erivo singing. So I'm not going to be mad at the new Elphaba song. I'm sure I'm going to like it, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy watching it, but I do predict right now that I am going to feel that the new Glinda song adds more to the emotional arc than the new Elphaba song does. I predict the performances will be wonderful, pun intended. I really hope that... Why am I blanking on his name right now? The guy who plays the wizard. He's so famous. What is his name? He's very famous. I know I should remember his name. I don't know why it's escaping me right now, but the guy who plays the wizard, I hope he does a little bit better in this film than he did in the last one. His energy was a little bit lacking in comparison to all the other characters, but that could have been an intentional choice because of some of what happens with the wizard in the second act. Like, maybe he intentionally wanted him to come across a little bit lackluster in comparison to what the impression of him is. I don't know. I'm seeing more people in Wicked shirts. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Oh, we're all about to have so much fun. There's like a whole family getting out in front of me and they're all wearing Wicked shirts. Oh my god, I'm so excited for all of us. Oh my god, I'm crying now. Oh my god, my prediction already. I'm like crying before seeing the movie. I've never felt this way about a piece of media before. I've been a fan of things in the past, don't get me wrong, but I've never felt like this excited to see something before. Like, I was genuinely anxious at my house. Like, I was genuinely antsy. Oh my god, it's like a whole little family. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Anyway, let's see. Oh, I know I've said this a bunch of times, but I predict that I am going to transcend when Cynthia Erivo sings No Good Deed, and I'm really excited for what they're doing with the instrumentation. Some of what they've shown in the trailers has been really cool, so I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about a Cynthia Erivo version of No Good Deed, and I can't wait for the soundtrack to come out as well, so that I can add that to my playlist expeditiously. Do I have anything else, guys? I don't know. Somebody asked me yesterday if I thought that they were actually going to show Dorothy's face. In the stage show, very famously, you never actually see Dorothy, because Dorothy was IP. You see implications of her, and obviously if you know the plot of Wizard of Oz, like, this act kind of lines up with the events of the original Wizard of Oz in a way, and so you know where she is in the story of Wizard of Oz because presumably you're familiar because it's such a famous story, but they never show her. And so there's been this big question of, are they going to do that for the film, or are they going to show Dorothy? And there's even some people wondering if they surprise cast a famous actor as Dorothy or something like that. I'm going to tell you guys from the bottom of my heart, John M. Chu has stuck too true to the original media in all of his musical movie adaptations. That is such a recognizable and distinct aspect of the original musical that I would be very surprised if he breaks it. But I do think this is my big spaghetti at the wall prediction that I have had this whole entire time that I've never shared with you guys. I'm going to share it right now, right before I go into the theater, so that if I'm right, I can claim my prize. I firmly believe we aren't going to see Dorothy's face, but I also firmly believe we're going to see Toto. I don't know why. I think Toto is going to somehow like run into a scene and we're going to see him, but we're not going to see Dorothy. That's my prediction. I also think there may or may not be a scene where we get very close to seeing Dorothy's face, but we don't actually see it. Do I have any other like spaghetti at the wall predictions I want to tell you guys before I go in? I still have like 40 minutes before the movie actually starts, but I want to get some snacks and stuff, so. Oh, I do. Okay. They have to take out that line. They have to take it out. You know the line. The one in March of the Witch Hunters where he's like, if they'd let him fight his battles. I don't even know that I can recreate it. They have to change that. They have to change that. There's part of me that thinks that they have to keep it because it's such a famous bad line from the original. There's part of me that also wonders if they're gonna change it because it's so famously such a bad line from the original. And what a bad reasoning. Like, I feel like they have to give him a different reason, right? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they'll keep it. That one I won't tell you if I'm right or not because this is supposed to be a no spoilers review, so I'm not even gonna spoil that. I guess you'll have to find out if they corrected that line or not when you see it. Oh my god, there's a little girl with her dad. Oh my god, we're all about to have so much fun. fun. I'm like excited for the whole theater. Okay, I think I'm gonna head in and get my snacks. I'm so excited. I can't believe it. It's finally here. I love you guys. I'll let you know how it is. Oh my god, turn that down. Oh, I had it at 100%. Okay, I don't think we need all that. Even less, even less, even less. Okay. Oh my god, I will never be the same. I will never be the same. There was before Wicked and then there was after Wicked. It was so good, you guys. It was so good. Shut up. I'm filming content. Oh my god. Where do I even begin? I feel similarly to how I felt last year when I did the no spoilers versus the spoilers, where I, walking out of the theater, was like, how on earth could I possibly talk about this without telling you every nitty-gritty detail? For starters, most important thing, just gotta get it out of the way. No good deed, life-changing. I was 100% correct. Cynthia Erivo's version is the best version ever sung. There never was a better version. There never will be a better version. That's the version. I was also somewhat correct, though, that I do think that is the only of the songs from the film version that's going to replace the original version on my playlists. Or I'll probably just have both, honestly. I thought the rest of the music was really good. I don't know. Maybe I need to listen to it once it comes out. But I feel like I'm just so familiar with the original musical versions that the little differences stuck out to me. Second most important thing, for those of you who are big As Long As You're Mine fans, I told you not to be worried. I told you not to be worried. You have nothing to worry about. I'll leave it at that. But honestly, my biggest takeaway is y'all need to stop doubting me and you need to stop getting in my face about this stuff, okay? I don't want to tell you which predictions I was right about because that would be spoilers, and this is supposed to be the no spoiler version. But across the very many videos I have made leading up to this film, I was right about shit I forgot I even predicted. I'm sitting there watching the film like, wait a minute, I said that was gonna happen in my trailer reaction and you guys called me crazy. I'm gonna have to go back and find, hopefully I still have a screenshot of it. There was a comment I literally removed because it pissed me off so much, where this person was like making fun of me under my trailer reaction for a prediction I had made. And they were so rude. And I was watching the film and I was like, and the problem is I know I removed the comment because it pissed me off so much, so I know it's not still under the video, but I think I screenshotted it, and I'm gonna have to go back to see if I can find the screenshot. Fuck you, dude. I was right. You made fun of me for that, and I was right. Don't ever doubt me ever again. Not only that, but I was correct that it seems that my interpretation of Glinda lines up with their interpretation of Glinda. In fact, she practically deadpans the camera and says the point of the show, and I appreciate that. So there's that. Okay, let me organize my thoughts. Let me get into some real meat and potatoes. Again, no spoilers. For those of you wondering what type of experience you're gonna have, let's talk about the music. I actually have slightly more critiques for the musical performances, unfortunately, in this one than I did in the first one. There was one moment in Thank Goodness, one moment where I think the people who felt like Ariana Grande wasn't maybe the right choice are going to have a field day with. It did not bother me, and it's not something I probably would have cared about at all if I don't make content about this, and if I didn't know how much discourse there was. I should speak in proper sentences. Sorry, my brain is like mush. What was I saying? Oh my god, my brain literally is mush. I literally just forgot what I was saying. Oh, the Ariana Grande haters. There was one moment in Thank Goodness where she went from Glinda to Ariana Grande and back, and it was so quick. Blink and you'd miss it. Again, it's not even probably something that I would have cared about at all if I didn't know the discourse, but there were a lot of people out there who felt like she wasn't the right choice, and I feel like that's the moment they're gonna harp on to be like, look, see, she Ariana Grande-ified it. But I don't care. Do you have that same energy for all the riffs Cynthia Erivo added? Oh. I can't lean far enough back to like hide my face accurately to do the meme accurately, but some of y'all are nitpicking Ariana. Cynthia added some riffs too. So if you care about Ariana's, you have to care about Cynthia's. If you want it to be that like 100%, they sang it exactly the same way. So that's not my problem. However, what I will say that surprised me a lot about specifically Ariana Grande's performance, but Cynthia actually did it once or twice too. They were jumping the beat. Like there were a few moments where Ariana like started singing the line early, like she jumped the beat. And I know they were doing it live when they were doing the filming, and so I don't know if they kept those in there because they thought they were maybe emotional choices. Multiple moments with her, and then one moment with Cynthia where, to me, it didn't feel like it was a character choice. It felt like they were jumping the beat, like they were too excited and they were singing too early because they weren't waiting for the measure to come in. But both of them are such professional singers. It was just confusing. So maybe they were character choices. I don't know. It doesn't really seem like it's something either of them would mess up. And specifically, if they felt like it was a mistake, probably something they would refilm. Clearly, on some level, it was intentional because those were the takes they used. But I will say, like, as a viewer, that I just a little bit felt like it was more them jumping the measure, which again is like weird. It was just weird. I don't know. Maybe you guys will disagree with me on that. I want to see what you think. But I would say the only song that actively fell flat for me was Thank Goodness. I did not love Ariana Grande's version of Thank Goodness, truthfully. But I otherwise really liked all the music, and I know I said that No Good Deed might be the only one to take over the originals on my playlist, but that's factoring in the fact that I don't have As Long As You're Mine on any of my Broadway playlists, and I actually think the movie version of As Long As You're Mine might make my playlist because I did like it a lot in the movie. I've never really liked it on the soundtrack. And I honestly haven't ever liked it that much watching the show live either. So shout out to them. They made me like that song. The ending, they went a little bit more into it. And I will say, I stand on my Glinda hill. I was right about her 100% in every way, shape, or form. And I continue to be. But I did like the way that they ended it. And it fills me with a little bit less rage than I had at the end of watching the live show. It made me feel a little better about her. I still stand by everything I've said. I've always said,
even her nondescript thing that happens at the end that I totally messed up and said because I forgot people who aren't familiar with the musical might be watching this.
It doesn't change anything for me. I feel the way that I feel, and that's her purpose in the story. And the
thing that happens
is an important aspect of that, but that doesn't change who she is throughout the story. And some of y'all are defending who she is throughout the story in a way that makes me wanna... I've always said that, okay? I've always said that, but deep down, I still kind of hated her. Even after the story ends, I still kind of hated her every other time. And this time, they actually wrapped her story up in a way that I was like, okay, all right, I see you, girl, but you better stick true to your word. I'm watching you. Not that the ending's like wildly different, but they just expanded things. Oh, that's the other thing is I was expecting there to be added scenes. There isn't really, like, there's added songs, but the added songs are honestly kind of the only added scenes. I thought they might pull stuff from the book, but they didn't really. Like, there really wasn't that much plot added. They just dove way deeper into what was there, which is good, because if you've seen this show live, the second act moves so quick and never gives you any time to breathe. So it was nice to be able to breathe and actually consume the story. See, is there anything else I want to say from a no spoilers perspective? I don't know, you guys. I just feel good, honestly. I do. I feel really good. It's really good. I'm gonna buy it the second I can and just loop them. But in all seriousness, I know that John M. Chu will never watch my silly little videos, but should he ever see this, I just want to say, I'm literally kind of choking up thinking about it. As a musical fan, I sometimes feel like people volunteer to adapt musicals or restage them, and it doesn't seem like they like them very much. And they always want to change things, and they always want to muddy things, and it's probably because they want to leave their mark on it or whatever. But I just think, especially freshly coming out of watching the adaptation of Frankenstein that just like wasn't really an adaptation, there was something very, the word that's coming to mind is filling for me. Like watching an adaptation that was clearly made by somebody who loves the source material and wanted to do it justice on screen. I really would be shocked if any fans of the production came to see this and were disappointed by it. And it just makes me so happy. The movie musical is back, baby. This shit's back. Why did they ever go away? Musicals are great. Listen, I don't want to sound too much like a theater kid, but when have you ever watched a musical and thought, this would be better with no songs? Never. It's always better with songs. There's kind of that gag online where people will say maybe the real blank were the friends we made along the way. But genuinely, obviously this is an early showing, but I told you guys it wasn't really like an influencer event. It was just like an Amazon Prime thing. I don't know, I booked it with my mom's Amazon Prime account. So there were a bunch of people in there that are just massive fans, obviously, because they sought out early tickets of the production. Everybody in there was clearly a huge Wicked fan, and nobody was obnoxious, nobody was annoying, nobody was talking over it, but you guys saw how excited I got when I saw people walking up when I was filming before that were all wearing shirts. There were people dressed up, there were people in costume, and the girls next to me, I guess had never seen it or didn't remember the ending. Like there were moments at the ending where like I almost got to live vicariously through them, because there was literally a point during like right after For Good, you know what I'm saying? Right after For Good, where I thought to myself, damn, this would slap if I had no idea what was about to happen. Like, wow, this would be so good if I didn't already know this plot by heart so well. Then I didn't realize when I thought that to myself, but it was clear to me from the reactions to the true finale that the girl sitting next to me did not know the story and did not know how it ended. And I really do feel like I watched the end of the movie both through their eyes and through mine, where I knew what was going to happen and was happy with what they did and how they staged it and all that. And then they were like, I was like, oh my god, yeah, that would be crazy. Like, that would be crazy if you didn't know. And that was awesome. That was awesome. And oh my god, there were kids that were so excited. And like, everybody was crying. And it was just such a great experience. And I got to bond with a bunch of theater nerds like me, even if I didn't talk to any of them. And I just want to thank John M. Chu for that, because, oh my god, I don't know why I'm embarrassed. I always tell you guys it's fine to like the things you like. You know, I'm always the one sitting here being like, I'm not judging you. Like, if you're a fan of something, be a fan of it. But then I'm sitting here like crying over how good this movie was, and I'm like embarrassed by it. It just is a story I've loved since I was like 12. I've always wanted to see it on the silver screen, and it did not disappoint. And I think it was just a very cool movie going experience to be able to be in there with everybody who clearly loves this story as much as I did. And it wasn't just me who got to watch it, like everybody got to watch it together, and it was just really cool. I think I'm gonna have to leave it there, you guys. We have so much to discuss when it gets to spoilers. I do have some small critiques, none of them that ruined the film for me, obviously, but there were also things that I really liked. I really appreciated fun twists on things, some songs I saw in different ways than the way I've always thought of them. We have a lot to discuss. We have plenty to discuss in spoilers. I'm gonna try and get that up Thursday, but if not, Friday. Depends on how long it takes me to edit. And I'm going to see Billie Eilish on Wednesday. I forgot about that, since all of you call me booktube Billie Eilish anyway. I'm about to go see my alter ego. Anyway, I love you guys, and I love Wicked, and I had a great night, and I hope you guys end up loving it as much as I did. And we will discuss in depth later in the week. Bye!